The Philadelphia 76ers goes off and pull an amazing win over the Golden State Warriors after shutting down Joel Embiid for the remainder of the season. And many 76ers think things are going to be great. Welcome to Stogies and Hoops. I'm Renz. And unfortunately, 76ers fans, you guys got a long way to go before you can become competitive again. It's not like you was really competitive in the first place, though, because let's be real. You have been believing in this process for an extremely long time frame. They sold you on the process. That process didn't work out. You had draft time bust. For instance, Markelle Fultz never turned out to be what you expected him to be. Y'all got Jimmy Butler, but you traded him away. Made no sense at all to trade him away. Then you decide you want to go out and get Joel Embiid. It's a great pick, except he couldn't play for his first year. And what's one of the reasons why he couldn't play his first year and has suffered injuries throughout the entirety of his career thus far?
90 minutes before game time. Is this normal, Chris?
I don't know. Two things are happening here. We got a foot rub and we've got a burger.
What a life.
Now, don't get me wrong. I like a foot rub and a burger, but no, it's not.
90 minutes is
you got to trust the process.
See, here's the problem. It has been well documented since Embiid had played as far in the for Kansas and throughout the rest of his career that he has an eating problem. He has a dietary problem. He doesn't love the game enough to eat right. 90 minutes before a game, he's eating McDonald's. It's not even like he went to, a decent burger joint and got a burger that is a hell of a lot healthier. He went to McDonald's and got a McDonald's hamburger. And it is said that when he played for Kansas, before they would take a flight, he would get 4 Chick-fil-A sandwiches, 4 large fries, and 2 cookies and cream milkshakes for the flight. This should tell you that this man is not taking care of his body, and this is why he suffers through so many injuries. Now, yeah, I'm one who would say that if Joel Embiid took the league seriously and played in the post like a big man should, that no one would be able to stop him. He'd be the most dominant player in the NBA to this day. But in his own way, he's pulling exactly what you guys have already seen in your Ben Simmons. That other draft pick that y'all chose as part of the process that didn't work out and was never going to work out because he doesn't have a heart for the game. The 76ers has consistently picked 2 people who didn't have a heart for the game. And you haven't made it to the Eastern Conference Finals at all. Now, as an Atlanta Hawks fan, I'm not expecting my team to be there. But yet we didn't go out and draft Ben Simmons, Markelle Fultz, have Jimmy Butler, and then draft a person who should be a perennial MVP in Joel Embiid. Trade away many different young assets. And you finally got one right now in Maxey. But Maxey's not ready to be the leader of that team. You still got to surround him with the right people. But your biggest problem, and the reason why I bring up my Atlanta Hawks, is that some idiot on my Atlanta Hawks pages that I watch brought up the suggestion that Atlanta should trade for Joel Embiid. And so that got me thinking. First of all, hell no. Hell no, and all the hells no. The first thing is that we're not going to give up Onyeka, or even, I wouldn't even give up Capella for Embiid. Why? Embiid is not going to be there to play. He's trash, he's the rock trash, just like my neighbor is unloading rocks from their truck right now. That's Embiid and his knees. The way that the rocks are falling as they unload their truck, that's what Embiid knees sound like when he's walking around, because he's not willing to take care of himself and do what's necessary. Now, what you got to understand is that y'all have just signed him to an extension, I believe, of $230 million. You're going to want to unload a contract that's $230 million for a player who consistently only plays between 55 and 57 games a year, who's hardly available for the playoff, who hasn't been able to get you guys past the second round. When he's had great help, he hasn't been able to get you guys there. And you think another team is going to trade for that? One of the possible few teams that would be able to trade with the 76ers in order to facilitate Joel Embiid would be the Houston Rockets. But why would they give away what they have in their young talent for an older talent that can't stay healthy? They are better off looking at Booker. I don't think they'll go for Durant. That would be a mistake for Houston, but they're better off looking at Booker if they want to mortgage some of their young talent and some of their draft picks. But the 76ers, Embiid, that's not the choice. That's not going to happen. What other team? Toronto? Toronto's not going to need him. They don't want him. They're nowhere near playoff contention. It's not part of their plan. They're growing through draft picks and through their youth movements. It's not going to happen. Miami? You think that he would be able to handle Miami? Y'all can't get him to eat right. In Philly, he's eating McDonald's. You think he's going to go to Miami? A team where you know the Miami culture is not going to allow that. Plus, what does Miami have really to trade? They don't really have much to trade. It's not going to happen. There's literally few teams to zero teams that will be in the trade market for an every year injured Joel Embiid perennial MVP with a $230 million contract. It's not going to happen. 76ers, you're stuck. You're stuck. You have nowhere to go. And yeah, you got playoff P coming in there, but your draft pick is only protected for the top 6. And the only reason playoff P is playing now and decided to give up his podcasting is not so that he can concentrate on basketball. He's trash, just like the rocks that my neighbor keeps unloading for some reason at this time of day. But he's trash. He's the rocks that they're unloading. He's not a leader. He's not going to get you guys there. He's just trying to play now because he wants to protect from being in the position where y'all will draft one player that may one of the two players that may replace him, and he's trying to protect his job. It has nothing to do with trying to get y'all to the playoff because you're not going to get to the playoff. You have two often injured players that you will not be able to unload. You guys will be a horrific team for the next 3 years until you can get off those contracts, or at least get off Embiid's contract. I hate it for you, 76ers. But the process, it's up in smoke. So appreciate you guys being here. Stogies and Hoops. I'm Renz, and I'll see you to the next download.